Another episode of Hitting the Spot.
Hitting the G-spot with Lovehoney.
Now, this is giving a bit of 50 Shades. But stay tuned because we're going to go into this bad boy.
I'll give you a hint. We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we record this podcast, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. We pay respect to elders past, present, and emerging.
Fuck parental guidance. This shit is MA15 plus.
And it's with Maggie and Alex. I'm loving that in every episode so far, you've done it with undone pants.
Look.
Baby belly has popped.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's baby belly or if it's I'm literally full of shit because I'm so constipated.
Oh, pregnancy constipation hits different.
It's been 6 weeks. I've been to the doctor numerous times and nothing has helped me.
It's time for another, avenue.
Like, I am now at the point where I have to digitally help a bowel movement.
Oh, I had to do that with my prolapses. I would have to literally stick a finger inside my bum and, help it out because it would get caught on the shelf
I don't have to do it in my bum yet. Mine's the doctor told me to put it in my vagina and push back onto the anal canal cavity.
Yeah, I had to either finger up my bum and try and fish it out, or if I was pushing,
it would get that stuck.
Yeah, because it was my prolapses.
Yeah,
so my prolapse happened so that it was there was a shelf and the poo would get stuck on the shelf and it couldn't come out. So then another way that I had to do it was literally like you. Instead of sticking my fingers inside of my vagina, I had to literally it felt like with the prolapses, I had to hold my insides in while I pushed.
Yes. See, having children.
Yeah, the joys.
It's a real
joys.
And what our bodies go through.
But yeah, you need to get that looked at. 6 weeks without a proper poo.
Oh, it's just literally little tiny rabbit pellets, little rabbit poos.
I have a story about rabbit poops, but that's for another time. But no, you need some help. If anyone can help.
No, I need Oprah.
Yeah.
I need Dr. Phil. I don't just need help. I need the
Dr.
heavy
Phil,
weights.
it was Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz is
Dr.
the
Oz.
proper doctor.
Oh,
You gotta do what you gotta do. That's Dr. Phil, isn't it?
I don't know. All I can think about with Dr. Phil is the meet me outside.
How about that?
Yeah, you meet me outside. How about that?
I hope one of our catchphrases goes viral like that chick. Because apparently she made millions.
Well, she's doing really well.
Great, good for her.
Yeah, I don't know how she popped up on my radar, but she started, I think it was an OnlyFans account or something, and made $1 million in a day.
In a day?
It was massive money, incredible money. I think it was the start of COVID.
Cash money.
It'd be nice.
It'd be lovely.
You know what else would be lovely? If you shat. What? Okay, Alex, here's this. You can get $1 million or you never have to feel constipated again. I'd take never feeling constipated again.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Because it's horrendous.
Yeah.
Mama's backed up. And also...
Not in a good way.
No, not in the fun way. And also, I can't handle a dick inside me because I'm already full.
Oh.
So I'm just too full.
Yeah.
So having a dick in me as well is just I feel like I'm going to spew.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's a lot. I feel like that. You know what? It was a woman that was constipated that came up with this saying, "You're full of shit." That is what this is.
I'm full of shit.
But I love that. I can't have a dick in me because I'm full.
Oh, I'm so full. Penetrative sex.
It's not a vibe.
I feel like it's going to come out my mouth.
My recommendation of the week actually works really well with your shit talking. It's a nice recommendation. You know how we have those toddler toilet stands that they can put their feet on? Because my physio actually said that when they're kids, they shouldn't have their legs dangling off the toilet. They need to have something to stand onto.
And aren't you actually meant to put your feet on a stool for a correct bowel movement?
That's my recommendation. If you are in a position where you have pelvic floor issues or you are constipated and it's difficult to poo,
Get a stool for your
get
stools.
a stool for your stool, babes.
Get a
It's
stool
so
for your stools.
good. It honestly, it works. It's really nice.
I did used to have one when I was pregnant with Max, and since we've been renovating our house, I actually don't know where it is, so I should get.
You need to get one.
I need to get another
you can
one.
literally get them at any like Target or Kmart or
because
wherever.
they do say it's way better for you.
It
and
is
your bowel movement.
It is. I've got
And your
Paw
pelvic
Patrol
floor.
one. Paw Patrol. I use Jagger's Paw Patrol one. It's really good. That is my recommendation, and I'm telling you, that was like pretty much straight from a physio's mouth. So like, this was a good recommendation.
Yeah, that is a solid.
Solid, because that's what you want on the toilet.
Actually,
you want
no,
a
I don't.
solid.
I don't, and I don't want it too solid because it's
No.
just too solid.
Oh my
at the
gosh, that
moment.
actually reminds me when I was at the physio for the first time. She's like, "What does your poo look like?" And she got like a chart.
Oh yeah,
And it was like, you know, the rabbit droppings.
That's
and then
me.
it's like, and she's like, this is the banana that we want. And it looked, and it was like, that's the poo of I want. And I had to do a poo diary for a little bit.
Speaking of diaries, that's my recommendation. Not a diary, but my recommendation is to, whenever you have a prominent thought or feeling about something, if something just keeps surfacing in your mind, a feeling or a thought, to write it down and write down how you feel in the moment.
Like journaling.
Yes. So like if you're feeling sad about something, if something, a conversation that you had with something triggered something
Yes.
inside of you and you're like, hang on, why did I feel that? Write it down
That's good.
and write down how you felt. Kind of like a bit like unpacking. It's kind of therapeutic as well.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it takes the thoughts, when you take thoughts out of your mind and put them onto paper,
Yes.
it's a little bit clearer.
Because I've been doing that lately. I've been putting them in notes in my phone because I could be like anywhere and a feeling will come because I've been so emotional this pregnancy
Yeah.
and a bit all over the place. So I could be in the supermarket or at the park with Max or wherever. And if I get like an overwhelming feeling or a thought, I would just get my phone out and my notes and write it down and write down what I felt and why. And
And it helps
yeah, so
just
much.
in that overwhelming moment.
Yeah. So that's my recommendation.
Look at us. Mental health and
We've got it all,
physical
baby.
health
We've got it
recommendations.
all.
You're welcome. Did anyone get my... Did you get my... It's the rabbit.
It's a bunny rabbit, I know.
The greedy girl from Lovehoney. The rabbit of choice.
And hello, Easter is coming up.
Well, Easter is coming up and so will you be with this rabbit.
I want to be a naughty little bunny.
I've actually never used a rabbit, but looking at it, and then when you turn it on and it starts to vibrate, and then the little ears start going.
because the little ears are for your little clitty.
Yeah, clitty. What did you clitty flutters?
clitty tingles.
And then you've also got the internal.
For the G spot. So it's like a double whammy.
I'm all for a double whammy.
I reckon that would also take me to a volcanic eruption.
I mean, we could try. Well, not we. You.
I mean,
You could try it, and if you want to try it at home, it's a Lovehoney. Get the rabbit we're all wanting this Easter. I was talking to Jagger the other day, and he comes out with beautiful one-liners, and he goes, "Mum, how do you love Noah if you love me?" And I'm like, "Oh, I love you both. I've got a really big heart." And it got me thinking of like how many times I've been in love.
How many times have you been in love?
3 times. First love, and then toxic love, and then love of my life, my kids. Brad. No. Brad. How about you?
I feel like I've been in love once, and that's Carson. I've had love for people, but I don't know if I've been in love.
What does in love mean to you then?
And
And how's that
like
differed?
you're willing to make compromise.
You haven't been willing to make compromises before?
No. Honestly, no. Like it was kind of, I was like my way or the highway.
Right.
And I just was very dismissive of feelings. And I'd be always like, I always knew that they had a shelf life. Like they always had an expiry date.
Right. So you always kind of knew that this was not going to last.
Yeah. Like I would always I mean, one of my exes, I feel like our relationship was complicated. He was a paraplegic and our relationship was so intertwined with our friends, and I wanted to keep that relationship alive because we were so intertwined with our friends. And
Yeah, it's hard when it can affect other people. It's not just like someone can go from your life.
Yeah, and I felt like a deep connection to him, but like hindsight looking back, I'm not sure if I was madly in love with him, like how I feel with Carson.
Yeah.
But I've been close with someone else. It was very, very complicated. I didn't know it was complicated.
Oh, I was going to say, we're talking about the show?
No.
The B word. We haven't
The B
mentioned
word.
The B word. I think that's another
That's
whole
a
thing.
whole other thing. We'll come back to the B.
Daily Mail, you wait.
No, I developed really real feelings for someone who where do I even start? So
How'd you meet?
I used to be a promo girl.
Oh, me too.
I was a promo girl. I used to do a lot of trade shows.
Oh, right. Yep. Okay.
And so I used to walk around with the iPad and just do data entry. So I grab business cards, do data entry.
Oh, you were like a high-end promo girl. I was like
Yes.
in Davies trying to get phone numbers.
Oh, no, I wasn't that girl.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was.
I was corporate. So I would dress in corporate clothes that they would give me with their branding.
Yeah.
And I would.
Yeah, high-end promo girl.
Yeah.
I was on the lower
Lower tier.
tier. Like I
You're
think it was
at
like
Davies in
50. I
Frankston.
know, it was like $15 an hour.
Yeah, so I used to do trade shows, and so I would meet lots of businessmen and women, and I really, really loved that networking scene.
How old were you?
I was 21.
So single mum life?
Yeah, maybe 22. I'd separated from Elijah's dad. We were in the middle of discussing our divorce. Yeah, so it was just after that whole thing.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like my first entry into the world of proper dating,
Back into the sea.
Because adult dating, I'd gone from high school to being pregnant to someone I didn't really know that well, and then being married to that person, and then I was in this big world of
Yeah, that's a journey all in itself.
dating. Anyway, so I was single, promo girl, mixing with very successful people. It was a completely different world for me. And I met this guy. He had a lot of charm, a lot of charisma. We clicked straight away. Like, it was one of those things.
Connection.
Oh, like the connection was
Instant connection.
instant. And he was really fascinating and he was really intelligent.
Physical connection? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, okay. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, he was fit. Like, he was athletic. He looked super healthy. Like, he looked after himself.
Yeah, yeah. So hot.
Yeah, he was
Hot.
very, but in like an old school way, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
he was like very charming and he was handsome. That's the best word. He wasn't hot. He was like
Like George Clooney kind of?
yeah, like
Oh, I love
yeah,
some
he
George
was
Clooney.
very, very handsome. Anyway, so we had this instant connection, and initially it was a friendship, and I don't know how we exchanged. Oh, that's right. So I was traveling from the Mornington Peninsula to this trade show and
In Melbourne?
in Melbourne.
Yeah.
And he was like, look, that's a long trek. I can put you up in a hotel. And so you don't have to, make that hour and a half.
That's nice.
Journey.
That's very nice.
Yeah. And I was like, amazing. I actually didn't think anything of it. I didn't think it was a pass at me. I just thought he was being
Friendly?
friendly because he's who I was working for.
Oh.
So sorry,
yeah,
I
right.
didn't preface that he was who hired me.
Oh, I thought it was just like someone that came up to you at a trade show.
He
Oh,
had
okay.
hired me.
Oh, okay, that makes
for
more
this
sense because
trade
like
show.
I was just envisaging someone coming up to him and being like, "I'll put you up in a hotel
Yes.
room, doll," and then I kind
But
of
he
got a
hired
different.
me with 5 other girls, and another girl was traveling as well. And so he was like, "Where are you coming from?" And so he was like, "Why don't I put you two together?"
Right.
And so I was like, "That's lovely." Anyway, we had a dinner that night, and he invited us to that. And I did notice that he didn't talk to the other promo girl as much. He didn't pay as much attention to her. But I think because he and I just had this instant connection, we just had great banter and, yeah, we just clicked, I suppose. That was all good. The trade show went for about 5 days, so we spent 5 days of, you know, fun and banter and getting to know each other.
Yeah,
and
like
then,
an intensive.
Yeah, and then we went our separate ways and, you know, we're like, nice to meet you.
Yeah, cool.
All that jazz. And then I got an email from the promo company that I worked for saying, such and such has asked for your personal details. Do you mind if I pass them on? Is it inappropriate? He said that you guys got along really well. He said that you guys spoke about business and that you had some ideas for yourself. And I was like, yeah, no, I actually did want to get his details, but we just didn't have the opportunity to catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then so he actually emailed me. He didn't call me. He wanted to do like the professional thing or like the polite thing. He emailed me and said, would it be okay if I gave you a call? And so he rang. We ended up going for lunch. And then from there, the lunch felt different. So it was like,
This is not work.
this is no longer work.
Yeah, right.
We didn't discuss anything work, business.
It was more just like flirty fun.
Yeah, and like a real kind of getting to know each other
Yeah.
type thing. And then from there, it was lots of lunches, and then lunches turned into dinner. And then I was like, are we dating? Like, is this a date? Like, because we hadn't been
Yeah.
intimate, we hadn't kissed or...
It was just, you're free, I'm free.
Yeah,
let's catch up again. Let's catch up.
And then one night I remember saying to him, are we dating? Because, like, I don't know if we're friends. I feel like it's different because we talk all the time as well. But I don't know if, are we friends or...
Was he an older gentleman or same age?
He was much older.
Okay.
25 years plus.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Much older than I
Like
am.
George Clooney.
Yes, but we didn't know each other's age at this point.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he laughed and was like, oh, I thought we were dating this whole time. And
we're on 2 different pages.
yeah, I was like, I'm really new. Like, this is all very, very new for me.
Was this your first kind of like dating thing after the separation from?
Yeah, from
Okay.
Joel. Like, this was
Okay.
like my first proper like person that I was dating.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, we actually started to form a relationship. We would catch up.
Intimate.
Yes. Yeah. And I came to learn that he was quite a successful business person who had a lot of business overseas. And he started inviting me to those business trips. So for 21-year-old Alex, who was a single mom who had grown up in a family who'd battled for money, and
Now you're going on these overseas
it was
trips.
just like
Wow.
a world that I could never have envisioned that I would be.
Did you go first class?
Yes.
Stop
The whole thing at the bar on Emirates.
Oh.
Like, I remember my first trip overseas with him, and I didn't know we were traveling first class. I had no idea. I was like, going overseas.
I didn't know that first class existed.
Yeah,
Either, babe.
I just did not anticipate. And then I remember the stewardess showed us our seats and like sat us down and where we were, and I was just like,
Holy fucking shitballs. This is how
and
the other half
that
lives.
is how I traveled.
Wow.
And I went overseas, like, I can't even count, like, I was on every business trip, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I was also alone, you know, like, he had lots of work to do. He was always in meetings, and I was left to do my own thing.
Did he make you feel special?
Very.
Yeah.
He bombed me with that.
Right.
Like, it was like no one had ever made me feel that way before.
And at what point did it turn?
So this went on for like months and months and months. Like travel.
First class Alex.
Yeah, overseas, interstate, going to concerts, high-end restaurants.
So you're in a relationship with this guy.
Yeah. And I remember one night we were laying in bed and I said I had to, because we hadn't booked flights back yet, and I said I had to be back at a certain time because I had a 21st birthday. And he goes, a 21st birthday? How have we discussed how old are you? And I was like, oh, I'm nearly 22. I'm 21. And I remember he went white, like the colour drained from his face. And he got like this kind of like weird, like, like this.
I'm sorry, did I just hear you say
Yeah,
21? Because I thought
like,
you said 34.
It was just like this weird moment. And I was like, well, how old did you think I was? And he was like, oh, I thought for sure late 20s, you have a child, you have a son, you've been married.
Oh, right. Because that does age you.
Yeah.
Like life experiences.
Yeah, he was like, I just assumed that you were late 20s, early 30s, but I did think you looked young. Like I just thought, but perhaps you just looked really young. And I was like, oh no. I go, well, how old are you? And he's like, I don't want to tell you. And
Wait,
I go,
how old did you think he was?
I thought he was mid-30s.
Okay.
At latest.
Like 35 pushing it.
Yes, absolutely pushing
Maybe
it.
30.
Yeah, I was like,
And how
Early
old
to-
is first class man?
at the time he would have been 45.
Okay, so a little bit older than 30.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
So wait, 20, 21 and 45.
So what's that? I'm not good at the maths.
Well, 21 to 40 is 19. 19 plus 5 is 24. We got
yeah,
there.
24
yeah,
years.
24.
Yeah. And so, but to me that was fine. Because I just was like, we have this great connection.
So when he was 24, you were born. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chip Daddy's like, I believe the math is correct. I don't mind age gaps though. Like I'm like,
No.
but power dynamics.
Yes. But he wasn't like that. That was the thing. Like he didn't expect things of me. I didn't play a role.
No, but was that the start of a crumble?
Yeah. So that was fine. Found out the age. I was like, well, I don't care. Like
Yeah, it is what it is.
it is what it is. And we have this amazing connection. So why would I put
Pressure.
this wall up or this barrier between us just because of a number?
Yeah.
And so that was fine. We got past that. I knew he was a little bit funny about it. Like I could tell that it made him uncomfortable. And so we continued to date and continued this fun, crazy, wild relationship of just lavish places.
First class love.
Oh, it was just insane. And then I won't go into the details of how I found out, but I actually discovered that he was actually married. And I had been the other woman.
And he'd never.
No.
You had no idea.
No.
You had none.
No.
He was married.
Yeah, with children that were not too different in age.
Oh, well, no wonder then he was a little bit white-faced.
Yeah. So, and that was uncomfortable. That was like
I feel like that's more than uncomfortable. I feel like that would have been
that. Like, well, I'm more saying like the moment when
the moment that you found
the
out.
moment that I found out, it was just and shock. Like it was just like lots of shock, lots of hurt, lots of pain. Yeah. So that happened, and then it was this thing of, well, this can't be because
From you or him?
from me.
Right. So you were like, I don't want to continue
Yeah,
this
so
now that I
this-
have this
this-
information.
Yeah, now that I know the dynamic of this doesn't sit right with me. I didn't want to be the other woman, and I didn't want to be someone that came between a home. Like that made me feel sick and
Yeah.
like yuck at the time. And then it was lots of, I will leave. Then it was they're in an open relationship. But being young, you believe things. And
You believed him when he said, I'm going to leave
yeah.
her.
And
Did you want him to?
yeah, there was a part of me that really wanted him for myself.
And was there a part of you
And
that...
I also wanted the life that he was showing me for my son.
Right. Oh, yes.
So
That dynamic would have been...
what he was showing me that he could give me and a future that he could give me, because I was so young, I was like, well, I would like this life for my son as well.
Yeah.
And at that age, I didn't have I can give that to him myself.
Yeah.
You know, like I was a struggling single mum who barely had a dime to her name and was working and hustling to just to get by.
And then here's Prince Charming.
Yeah. That showed me the world and like pretty much said I could have everything in this world that I could ever want. And also would say things like, I will never let anything bad happen to you and your son. Like you will always have my support. You will always have me. And when you're ready for me to meet him, like he will be a part of my world. And
When he was telling you, I'm going to leave her, looking back, do you think that he believed what he said, or do you think that was manipulation looking back? I
believe that he genuinely loved me. But I just think he didn't know. I don't think he knew how to leave because he had a whole family.
So you found out that he has a family, a wife and children that are near the same age as you.
So we cut ties.
Yeah.
So we stopped talking. Lots of flowers, lots of phone calls, lots of, can we just please talk? You know, the whole I'll leave, all that kind of thing. And months went past and we connected again. We had a coffee. And I remember him saying that he was working his way out of it. He was working his way out of it and I was the one that he wanted to be with.
He said, you're the one.
Yeah, you're the one. You're the one I want to be with. And I want my life with you. And I believed it, so I went back. And we did this on and off, I think, for about 3 years. Until I met my next partner.
So for 3 years.
Yeah.
So you were the other woman.
Yeah. But it was the lie of she knows about you.
Yeah, right. And we're in an open relationship.
She knows about you.
You're saying now that it was a lie?
Well, I know she knew about me because
Okay.
like she definitely did know about me.
Okay.
Because we had interactions with each other and she had told me to not get involved she said I was too young to get involved in what
The game.
the relationship was.
Yeah.
She said, you're far too young to get involved in this. So as an older woman, she was probably trying to protect me, or she wasn't hostile, she wasn't nasty, she wasn't anything. But it wasn't anything negative. It was more, she said I was too young. So I believe maybe that they possibly did have this open relationship.
Situation, yeah.
But they were still going to definitely remain husband and wife.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I was never going to be his.
In her mind,
Yeah.
he was probably, or maybe telling her, you're the one. I'm staying in this.
Yeah. And I just need to be able to explore with other people. And so maybe that's what he was telling her at home. But
So knowing now that you're in a committed relationship, you know, you're engaged, does that change your perspective on looking back, being the other woman?
in what way?
Well, I remember I asked my community, you know, if someone is cheating, is any of the responsibility on the other woman, man, the one that's not in the relationship? And my view on it was there's no responsibility because they haven't made any, vows. But it's a values thing.
Yeah.
Like
if you know that there's another person involved, of course you're playing a role in something that could be extremely hurtful and damaging, but to an entire family,
Yeah.
But in my situation, it was this web of lies that made me feel like it was okay. And because I was so young and naive as well at the time, I look back now and I'm like, what the fuck? I look back now and I'm like, it just makes me feel. Oh.
Alex's movie moment. That's a movie moment. You were warned, but thanks for listening to MA15 Plus.
Now you can send your burning questions to hello@ma15plus.au.
We want to hear from you, so please subscribe and leave a review wherever you listen to this podcast.
Maggie, did you know the longest relationship I have ever had is actually with Lovehoney?
I mean, no, but it makes sense to me.
Now, if you want to check out our spicy recommendations, please go to the show notes.
Yes, or any products that we have recommended, they will be at lovehoney.com.au/MA15PLUS. You can thank us later because you will be buzzing, you will be wet, it will be wild.
You'll just be a very, very, very happy person.
And happiness is what we're about.
And maybe you'll find a long-term relationship like me.